I want Isak in the football club. I know he's there. I know last summer they wanted Gomez. I know they also considered getting Quansah as well because we was trying to get Gordon around that period of time. But instead of us going out there and, I don't know, like putting loads of money up, we could potentially use Quansah. But obviously, if I don't know what you see him as, you see him as someone that's gonna really, make a mark in the first team, or is he just someone you just think he's always going to be a squad player?
So with the Newcastle negotiations, it was the other way around.
Okay.
They wanted Quansah, but we offered them Gomez. And they also then bumped the price up on Gordon because we offered them Gomez and not Quansah. So that was the situation there. We also tried for Isak, by the way. Like, we tried to negotiate for Isak. That has come out, like, but they wanted 100 million, and that was too rich for us back then. Hindsight, probably a good deal now, but the Quansah thing's quite interesting because Slot backed him to start ahead of Konate, then realised he wasn't the type of player that could handle that game or maybe games. So then he dropped out of the team. He then had some misdemeanors or whatever going on in the background, which kind of put him out of the limelight for a while. I think the interesting thing about it is, as soon as there was an injury to Konate, Gomez went straight in. Like, Quansah didn't get a look in, so Gomez went straight in. Even though you would have thought Quansah was probably second choice, if he got replaced by Konate, that made sense to me, but he didn't. Then third choice came in. And then if you look at the FA Cup game, Endo got played, and he didn't get played in the FA Cup game. He came on as a sub to replace Gomez, who got injured. So he's right down the pecking order. And then he's obviously being used as a right back, like emergency right back, because we haven't got any. So you have to look at it. Is he in the picture? Like, is he really got a future at Liverpool? Or are we just saying that so they maybe bump the price up on him? Or maybe he can be offered as a make weight. But I genuinely don't know. Like, if Slot backs him, he's a right back right now. He's not a centre back in Slot's eyes, because he's not being used as a centre back. He's being used as a right back. So I really don't know. Like, he probably needs a pre-season, and he probably needs a loan, if I'm honest. He's played less than 30 games, and he's 22.
He played quite a lot last season, though. Obviously, there was like injuries and stuff, and merit to him because he actually did perform when he came in.
Yeah.
But you said about right back, but I think he's only been utilized there just because we had the injuries. Remember, Trent was out, Bradley was out, so obviously he got utilized there. But like, I don't know. Do you not see like a future for him at the football club? Or because I see him like reaching really good levels and heights. Is it in the same like version like Virgil? Mate, probably not. Obviously, Virgil is like the 1 in a million type of defender. But I feel like he can become one of the best. And I don't want to just give away these type of talented players just to get another one. But I do want Isak though. So I'm kind of caught between that.
Can I just say one more thing on that, by the way? So we're obviously linked with centre backs, yeah. So the one we want is probably, a lot of people want Dean Huijsen, yeah. Spanish international, incredible player, yeah. He's got ceilings gigantic on him. He's got 50 million release clause. He's not going to come to Liverpool to be a third choice centre back. He's not. Like, so what do you do? Is Quansah going to stay at Liverpool to be a third choice centre back when we all think his ceiling's high? He's a potential England international. I mean, he's getting in the England team ahead of Jared Braithwaite, who we all think's really good as well. So why would you do that? Like, why would you be a third choice centre back at Liverpool? Yeah, you might get some games when Konate gets injured, but if we're going to get rid of Trent and we're potentially getting a more defensive right back, will Konate get as many injuries? And if Virgil, who's never injured, touch wood, and Konate sorts out his injury problems, you want like an international as your third choice. Like that's really difficult. I think that's a really difficult situation. And you've got to convince the player to be that guy. And what are you going to play on Quansah's the fact that, oh, you're from the youth team, you're going to get your chance eventually, mate. But then you throw him in and he's dog shit because he hasn't had any game time. And that's happened with Quansah, by the way. It's happened with quite a few players. You throw them in and they're not going to hit the ground running because they haven't had any game time and they're still quite young. So it's a really difficult one with Liverpool. Like,
what do you then go on, Sav? What was you going to say?
I was going to say, came up as a great point, man. But I'm just saying, like, I don't give a damn if it's in England, but like,
oh no, me neither.
If we do that, then we know Kanate is going to get injured at some point. There's no doubt. I don't care if Trent's not there and he's not running for Trent and stuff. That he's going to get injured, and it's a fair point to say that. But he's already accepting being in this position at the moment. So I'll take that. I'll take accepting that he's already in that position instead of trying to get somebody else in. Because that's harder to get somebody else in and letting them know you're going to be in whatever choice centre-back. Because time's short in football, and even if Gomez stays this season, he probably ain't going to be there next season. Do you know what I'm saying? No, like the season after, he's probably not going to be there, even if he decides to stay in the summer or Liverpool decide to keep him. And Kanate is going to get injured and Virgil's going to be another year older. We don't even know if Virgil's going to sign a contract. So I don't know. Like, a loan is more the that's the highest I'll go on that, man. I wouldn't get rid of him, bro.
Yeah, because you're right. Trying to get in, because then, as we said, we already think we need at least a centre back now anyway. You get rid of him, you're looking to then get two in. I did see one of Fabrizio's report, and he was saying about players that Liverpool are looking to get in terms of positions, not the actual names. And he was talking about, he said centre backs, he said left back, he also said an attacking player, winger, and a striker, and a holding midfielder. Those are kind of the positions Liverpool are currently in the market looking at. So, but when he said centre backs, I'm like, okay, does that mean someone's going? Because we already got Virgil, you already got, well, technically Virgil might leave, but we got Virgil currently, you got Kanate, you've got Gomez, and you've got Quansah, so you got four. So when he says centre backs, I'm like, okay, that could mean someone is leaving, and I hope it's not obviously Virgil. But I don't know, man. It could be difficult.
The thing is, though, like what Savage said about the loan thing, yeah. I'm always about development, innit? Like, it's players cannot develop on the bench. It's impossible. Like, you just don't get any real football in that. And we've seen more or less every single player you've ever watched who's been on the bench has never developed. It's usually once they start getting running games, playing football consistently. Doesn't matter what level, just once you start playing, you inevitably get better, right? I think with someone like Quansah, you never know. Like, I don't know, by the way, if we're gonna. Like, I don't know if the manager even wants him. Do you know what I mean? Like, this doesn't tell me the manager likes him or not. It just says what James Pearce has said. That doesn't tell me that the manager thinks highly of him or doesn't. He might get in a defender that he feels, this is actually a defender I can see actually really battling for a starting spot, so I can rotate or he can actually come in. Right now, Quansah might not be at that level. I don't know. Like, I'm just guessing, by the way. He might not look at Quansah in that way to say, yo, yeah, you can battle Kanate. The reality is, I don't think so. Like, I don't think he's at that kind of level. Can he maybe get a centre back who can do that? And then the whole thing about Kanate always getting injured doesn't matter, because you've got a player that you know this guy's already battling with thing. Whereas with Quansah, he's not battling Kanate. What he's doing is he's waiting for Kanate to get injured, then he'll come in and then he'll go from there. Whereas the other player who may come in, again, it's just guessing. This one might actually be someone who can actually, as in, I don't know who to play today, or I don't know, he played well in the last game and did it. Whereas Quansah, I don't really feel like it's going to be a situation. I'm, again, guessing, but I don't really feel like Quansah the guy where it's like against Kanate, where I'm like, if he plays banging in the last game, Slot's going to really have a thought process about it. I feel like he'd just be like, I'll just put Kanate, back in. A bit like the whole Kelleher Allison thing. It's like, you got someone so superior and the other guy is kind of nowhere really near that kind of level. Then obviously, of course, like, I'm just going to put this guy back in. No matter what this brother has been doing for the last 10 games, 15 games or whatever, I'm going to put this guy back in regardless, kind of thing. And I'm not even going to blink to think about what I'm going to do. Maybe he might see that situation different. That's why I say, if you sold him, it would really make, you could get just any player who you think, I don't know, like Gay, someone just put, yeah, he's a higher level than Quansah, so get him in there if you really like him, if you want him. Otherwise,
ain't that the point though? Get Gay in, he ain't sitting on the bench.
But that's the point.
That's
That is the point. Is that you're going to get someone like Gay in who can battle.
No, but you're right. You're right. But we spoke about this yesterday with the way he rotates and stuff like that.
Yeah, no,
man ain't trying to change the centre backs to even give them a like. For example, if Slot was rotating centre backs like Guardiola does,
yeah,
Gray's perfect, and he's definitely an upgrade on Quansah. He's one of the best centre backs in the league. But if he's not doing that, then it's back to like FA Cup and League Cup and all that, bro. And we see how that turns out. I mean, when we do well, you get in quite a few games. When we don't do well and get knocked out in the third round of them, all of a sudden your games are half. So I do get your point though. That does make sense.